The White House was hoping to change the subject today from the lingering cloud of the Russia investigation.
Good afternoon.
But during his first televised briefing in 8 days, Press Secretary Sean Spicer said he didn't know whether the president believed Russia meddled in the 2016 election, something Republicans, Democrats, and the entire U.S. intelligence community all agree on.
Just very plainly, a yes or no answer. Does President Trump believe that the Russian government interfered in the 2016 elections?
I think I have not sat down and talked to him about that specific thing. Obviously, we've been dealing with a lot of other issues today. I'd be glad to touch base.
Asked again, Spicer gave the same answer.
I have not sat down and asked him about his specific reaction to him, so I'd be glad to touch base and get back to you. Yeah.
The president's reluctance to acknowledge Russian interference in the election has confounded his allies and armed his critics. It's also helped fuel the investigation on Capitol Hill and by a special counsel. Meeting with the president of Ukraine in the Oval Office today, Mr. Trump had strong words for North Korea about the death of Otto Warmbier, the University of Virginia student who died Monday. He'd been in a coma after 17 months in North Korean captivity.
It's a total disgrace what happened to Otto. That should never, ever be allowed to happen.
Mr. Trump implied President Obama was to blame since Warmbier had been detained since January 2016.
Frankly, if he were brought home sooner, I think the result would have been a lot different. He should have been brought home that same day. The result would have been a lot different. But what happened to Otto is a disgrace. And I spoke with his family. His family is incredible, what they've gone through. But he should have been brought home a long time ago.
A former national security aide to President Obama said at least 10 Americans were released from North Korean custody during the last administration. It's painful that Mr. Warmbier was not among them, but our efforts on his behalf never ceased, even in the waning days of the administration, spokesman Ned Price said. As the White House tries to jumpstart its agenda, a new CBS News poll finds the president's approval rating has fallen 5 points from 2 months ago to 36%, a record low. 57% now disapprove of his presidency. The president gets his lowest marks on his handling of the Russia investigation. Just 28% approve, while 63% say they do not. The biggest Republican priority, repealing and replacing Obamacare, is still under wraps in the Senate. After once championing the House version of the bill, the president lately has been describing it as heartless and mean.
The president clearly wants a bill that has heart in it.
Senate Democrats are seizing on the president's criticism.
I think President Trump summed up his health care bill best with one word: mean. For once, on the topic of health care, my colleagues and I find ourselves agreeing with the president. This bill is mean, very mean.